Good afternoon and welcome to the fifth episode of Super Sundays. Super Sundays is basically a session that's run on Facebook Live in the Dubai Digital Marketing Group to support people who want to get into an entrepreneurial kind of a mode, start their own business, to just give them an insights as to how to run a business, what needs to be done, all the basic works. And that's what Super Sundays is all about. Today we are going to talk about the business model canvas. If you have not been through our earlier episodes, just let me give you a bit of a summary as what we did. We started off, of course, with a business idea, how to validate it in any given market, what kind of things you require to do even before you start your business. And one of those major important aspects was of the business plan. We started looking at the business plan, how to create the vision and the mission statement in the first step of it, how to summarize your products and services. And now we are looking, in the last episode, we were looking at how to craft a marketing strategy. And as a part of the marketing strategy, I was talking about the business model canvas. And that's what we are going to look at today, the business model canvas. What is a business model canvas? Hi, Priya. Thanks for joining. So let's get started with the business model canvas. Business model canvas is basically a strategic management tool. It tells you, or it describes or explains what is the product or service, how are you going to use it to generate revenue, what are the business processes that you require to deliver that product or service to your customer. It talks in depth about your target audience, which we already discussed in the last few episodes. And the most important thing is, from this particular business idea, what is the expenses that you are going to incur and how are you going to generate revenue. Remember, business is all about generating revenue by using your product or service in a particular market. And if you can ideally forecast and plan how this revenue generation is going to be done and put it in your business plan, it actually helps not only you as a business owner, but your entire team, your stakeholders, your vendors, suppliers, to get to know a little more about how you run the business. A business model canvas is basically a visual representation of your entire business model, as to how I've described just now about your customers, your processes, your revenue generation streams, all put together. But you can't have like a traditional business plan where it runs into about a few hundred pages. A business canvas is a little bit more summarized version of it, more visually representative. That means you one look at it and you have an idea of entire idea of the business, how the business is run. So that's what we call a business model canvas. Now, a business model canvas has basically 9 very important components. If I have to take a paper and fold it into 2, then into 4, so I get 4 quadrants, right? So in these 4 quadrants, I place each of my important aspect of business. 1, the top right hand is my target market. This is all about my external factors. Who am I doing this business for? The lower right hand is, of course, by selling products and services to this particular target market, how am I going to generate the revenue? So it's more of a revenue streams that I'm talking about. The top left quadrant. Hi Kishore, welcome. We have just got started. So we're talking about the top left quadrant. The top left quadrant is about how I will be running the business, as to what activities I'll be doing, what kind of people I would need to run my business, what kind of resources I would run my business. It's all about internal aspects, the inside thing of the business. And the last but not the least, the fourth quadrant, which is the lower left, is about your cost streams. That means how much of money, capital I would require to put in to run the business with this kind of a setup for this target audience, with this kind of revenue streams that I can generate revenue from. Hi Naushin, nice to see you here. Hi Sanaya. So basically, as I said, business model canvas, as we say, or the business canvas, is a visual representation. Now let's take each of these components in detail. The first important component, which comes in the top right quadrant, is your customer, your target market. Now fill it up with all the segments you can think of. Basically, when you start doing a business model canvas, or what we call as BMC, it's all about trying to put everything that you can think of, your team can think of, onto this canvas. You can refine it later. A business canvas model is something that you can keep on changing, keep on moving the components, because each move or each change will give you a different permutation and combination of how you can generate revenue. So when creating a business model canvas, make sure that you have something or the other in each of these compartments, in each of these segments, in each of these components. Try to put as many things as possible. Yeah, it's all about quantity and speed rather than quality and definitions or redefining the aspects. Get as many people as possible to collaborate, to brainstorm on your business model, because the more people, the more faster it will fill up, and the more faster you can generate ideas for your business. So the first component, as I said, is the customer. So last episodes we have seen about segmentation, target audience, and positioning, and that is the information you need to plug it in here. Come up with as many customer segmentations you can think of, and plug them here. The second component is, of course, the customer relationships. As I say every time, business is about transactions being done by people for people. So relationships take on a completely different meaning altogether when it comes to customer relationships. Customer relationships can be just anything that you can think of in the term of selling or promoting your product or service to your customer. Where are the touch points? If you can map your customer journey through your business, how they get in, what do they exactly do within your business model, and how do you nurture them further, you would actually get those touch points and put them here in the customer relationship component. The way people buy from you, are they buying online? So online or a digital media is your touch point. What do you do there? How do you interact with them? Are you doing a one-to-one interaction? Are you doing a group interaction? What do they exactly do, talk, and feel about those touch points? That comes into this component. And this component is very, very important, because this is the bridge between your business and the customer. This is the connection. The tool that we require is the channels. And those channels are component number 3. All the first, second, and third component come into the first top right hand corner of the quadrant. When we have spoken about the customer relationship, now I require the tools to create this customer relationships. So what are my channels? They can be online, they can be offline, they can be events, they can be networks, that they can be your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. All these are channels where you get to connect. These are tools you use to connect with your audience. So this becomes your component number 3. Component number 4 is the revenue. What are your revenue streams? Any business, when it comes up, if I say it's a product, I sell my product and that's how I make money. That becomes your one revenue stream. But do you have anything more? Think. Do you have anything more to offer to the client or the customer and generate another revenue stream? Yes, I do. Maybe I have a complementary product, I have a supplementary product, or I have a after sales attached where there needs to be a payment made. If I'm into a services business, if my service is coaching, I coach you and I earn my revenue. But what else can I do to increase that revenue stream? And that can be, maybe I can start a subscription model, I can start group coaching, I can start one-to-one coaching. There are many aspects when it comes to revenue streams. Not all businesses run on one single revenue stream. There are multiples, and those can only be looked at when you are looking at the left hand side of the business canvas model. Now, the left hand side of the business canvas model is all about what you have internally. And what I have internally is the activity, of course, the business activity that I'm doing. Now, that one business activity, I can break it down depending on my target audience into 2 or 3. Maybe I have something low cost, or something that I have premium, maybe something that I have a collaboration with somebody that I'm selling. So your business activities are there on your left hand side. To run those business activities, I need 2 things. I need resources. Most important, I need resources. Resources can be human resources, they can be financial resources, they can be intellectual resources, or they can be actually physical resources like equipment. This come in under the resources component. Now, to have those resources in place or actually conduct those key activities, there's one more aspect that I require, and those are key partners. Who are your key partners? Well, I'm not talking about the employees. I'm talking about your suppliers, your vendors, your associates, or your collaborators, or your partners whom you're partnered with to give or make sure that your service is rendered with the quality you require in the exact time that is required. So if you need some help in that aspect and you have collaborations, those are the people you put down in your key partners. We have done with key activities. Those are your business activities. Key resources, those are the people, the equipment, the finances you require. And then you have done with the key partners as well. Now, for all these 3 things, you require capital. There is some cost involved, and that comes in the 4th quadrant, the cost stream or the cost aspect. How much would you require to make sure this left hand side of the canvas runs like a well-oiled engine? And where is the cost going? Is it going in for collaborations? Is it going for commissions? Is it going for the purchase of equipment? Is it going for maybe getting some suppliers on board? Yeah. So all of that comes up there. Now, if you see, I have spoken about 8 components. Yeah. To summarize them, I've spoken about the customer relationships, about the channels which I can get to my customer, the revenue stream, the key activities, the key resources, the key partners, and the cost. The 9th one is the most important component, and that's what we'll look at almost at the end of the business model creation, and that is your value proposition. A value proposition comes or is created through 2 major aspects. One, who my target audience is and what am I selling to them? What problem am I solving of theirs? What is the solution I'm giving to them? And that stands right bang in the middle of the business model canvas. The value proposition. What value am I giving to my customer? Keep one thing in mind. Your value proposition is your differentiator. It differentiates your business from the rest. It makes you stand out in the market. And that's the reason it's there in the middle of the business model canvas, because it's the most important aspect of the business. That's where actually the business success depends on. What are you doing differently for your customers? What is the value that you're getting to the table? And now that completes your business canvas model. When you've completed the business canvas model, don't think it's the end of it. As I say every time, business is something that's living, kicking, growing as you nurture it. You have to put in your time, efforts, and money to make it a success. Now, if in a case where I just make a small change in one of the components, what happens? My entire business model canvas actually changes. Even a slight change in one of these 9 components changes my business model. For example, I'm an offline business. I do digital marketing to connect with my customers. But just imagine, I say if my customer has a concern with the product or service I'm selling and they need to get back to me for the after sales service, what do? Okay, in a brick and mortar case, I just put there a person who can handle the calls. They can call me and things are taken care of. But now I make a slight pivot and I add maybe a IVR system to the entire canvas. Just one small change. I remove the phone and I put a IVR system. I remove the person, living person who's sitting there on a phone call taking complaints, and I put an IVR system. What happens to my business model canvas? Many things change. First things change is customer relations. And now I have an IVR in place, so the IVR goes in there. Second thing, I need somebody to provide me with an IVR system, so I need a key partner to take care of that. Yeah. My business process, my activities has changed. I now have an after sales service that is automated. I don't need a person anymore, so I need my key resources, the human resource. Okay, it's -1 now. Just one change and see how many changes in the model. That's how dynamic and volatile a business canvas model is. It changes as you grow. It changes if you make a small change in the business plan. Once you have made this, what is the use of it? Well, it gives you a visual representation. You can dole it out to the concerned people to understand your business. If tomorrow you are looking for an investor, You just need to put this in front of him and he would have a fair idea of how your business is run. It's convenient and it's easy to understand than those 100 pages of detailed report I can make. This can also be used for many other things as well. For example, if I need to maximize, optimize my business model, I can actually play a game, gamify it to make sure that how to increase my revenue by including people, by including more ideas, by including more stakeholders to join me and make me create a new business model. A few tips on how we can maximize this. Just imagine if I have to switch costs. Will it change my business model? Yes, it will. Will it optimize it? I don't know right now because I'm not doing it. But then, yes, it is an opportunity that I look into. If I have a one-time payment method in my revenue streams, can I make it something that's recurring so I have a passive income happening? Yes, that can be looked into. Can I lower costs, increase my revenue? How will it play in real time? This kind of gamification ideas, this kind of brainstorming can actually be done on a business model canvas. And at the end of it, you can come up with amazing results. Try this in your office. Even if you're a single owner or a team of 100 people, a business model canvas gives you an idea of how a small change can tweak, turn, maximize, optimize, downsize, upscale your business idea or business model. So next time you are creating a business model canvas, keep this 9 components in mind. And if you can play around with permuting and combining them in different ways, can make use of it in your teams, that can yield fantastic results. Let me summarize the 9 components of the business model canvas. Remember, top right, your customer relationships and the channels where you can get hold of those customers. Lower right, it's all about revenue streams. Top left, it's about your internal capabilities, your key activities, your key resources, and your key partners. And bottom left is your cost aspect. And right in the middle is the value proposition. Do try it once. It's fun. It opens up your mind. It gives you ideas. And if you put it in front of a team, it becomes a tool for brainstorming a perfect business model. With this, I end today's session, but do not forget to tune in at 6:30 p.m. today for Priya, for she is going to take up a session on everything that is Instagrammable. She's going to give you insights on Instagram. So do not forget 6:30 p.m. today. A session by Priya on Instagram. With this, I sign off and you have a rocking week ahead. And maybe in our next session, I will come up with something relevant to talk about when it comes to starting a business. For today, that's all from me. If you have anything to ask, you can surely put that in the comment box, or you can catch hold of me on 054 994 7691, and I'll be happy to answer your queries. So see you then tomorrow, see you then next week for Super Sundays, same time, same platform. Bye.